Infinity Games Podcast.
Welcome to the Infinity Games Podcast. This is episode 45. I'm Jukeboxhero.
Wait a fucking minute.
The fuck do you want?
Are you sure we're on 45? I feel like we just did 45.
You've been behind an episode for the last 4 episodes.
Fuck. All right. Okay, that was great. Good intro.
Perfect.
Proud of
What's your
you.
name?
KelryxsKing.
And my god, for the first time since episode 3, we're gonna have a third voice on the recording.
Woohoo! And it's me, TJ Kennedy 4.
Perfect. We're just gonna call you TJ.
Yep, sounds good.
Damn.
I didn't make the name. It chose me. So someday I'll change it, but I have too many options.
I went to the pet store and it was like, boom, name tag. And I was like, oh, nifty.
Exactly.
Perfect. I dig it. So,
I don't
for
know.
anybody who's curious, we know TJ because he and I are in the same clan for Destiny 2. Good times. He's great. He's fabulous. We love him. We got him on the
Damn
podcast.
straight.
I get that joke too. I was gonna say, really? Anyway,
Oh.
so what
Continue.
the main reason that Jukebox and I decided to get TJ on is because he, like us, is a gigantic Pokemon fan, and we just got a bunch of Pokemon Sword and Shield news that came out in the last couple of weeks, and we're a little late on the train, but life gets in the way, so leave us alone.
A little late? A little late? Like,
I mean, we've only been planning it for like 2 weeks.
More like 4.
Oh, fuck. Was E3 that long ago?
no, it hasn't been that
Oh no,
long.
but
Okay,
the direct
okay.
was at like the start of the month, and it's gonna be a week until this is released, so close enough.
Shit.
Well,
Ugh.
better late than never.
I mean, that's a good point.
I mean,
And
the
I mean,
hype,
there's a lot of spicy hot tea about Pokemon out right now, so we have a lot of stuff to talk about.
There
yeah,
you go.
the hype train's still rolling.
Yeah, exactly.
It's rolling hard, even though there are gimmicks that I'm not a fan of, but we're gonna get into that. Okay, so I made a little notepad. So, to keep this kind of semi-streamlined for once, because Jukebox and I tend to ramble really badly, and Jukebox has to go to work in, a couple hours, so we're gonna stick to a script, kind of, not really.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, here's some rambling for you. A little bit of context. Couple hours means I'm going to be doing the graveyard shift.
Ooh,
So
that day.
the overlap for recording just doesn't exist. Usually I'm sleeping when he's awake.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good time. Okay, so regarding Pokemon Sword and Shield, and for anybody who doesn't know, it is releasing on, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm probably not, November 15th of 2019, and that is a worldwide release. It's not like Japan's not getting it a few weeks early, which is good
God
because
bless.
I hate when shit like that happens.
I don't know why they do that.
They're like, we designed the game, so we get it first. And I'm like, no?
It's like Black Ops 3 releasing the new DLCs for PlayStation a month earlier than Xbox.
Yeah, that's just favoritism, though.
True.
Okay, so the main thing that I want to know, because Jukebox and I have talked about this before, but with the new information that's come out, we have a release date now, we've seen a little bit more of the game and stuff. I want to know what everybody's from a 1 to a 10, 10 being I would sell my firstborn child if I could play this game tomorrow. What is your hype level for this game coming out?
I would have to say it's probably maybe a 7. We're talking about a firstborn child here, so that's like giving Gerald up, and I'm not about to give Gerald up.
You keep the goose.
Yeah, so no, I mean, I definitely am really excited for it, but I think I've just become accustomed to waiting every November I just know that the gaming season is going to happen, and there's a bunch of games going to be coming out. Like I know that Shadow keeps coming out for Destiny 2, and Pokemon's going to be coming out in November. So I haven't gotten overly excited for
That's
it.
fair.
I think that's also kind of just come with age as well. Just kind of like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's another game. I'm sure it's gonna be great, and I'm excited for it. But I'm not like, oh my gosh, I'm so freaking excited. Like
It's not like I need it.
yeah, like exactly. It's not like I'm absolutely just dying waiting to play it. So
Okay, fair enough. Jukebox.
I still
What
have yet
about
to
you?
play through Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. So I'm working on that still.
Hey, you got to get on that.
I'll give it a hot number 1.
Oh,
Man, you have no hype for anything ever, and it hurts my soul.
I was more hyped for Let's Go than I am for this game.
I thought I was critical.
What?
But damn, you took it to a whole new level.
Because I actually wanted
that's-
Let's Go.
Oh, that's fair. I didn't know I wanted it until I played it, and then I was like, I don't like that I enjoy this.
Bitch, we have a whole episode on that.
Mine's... I'm at probably... Like, I agree with TJ on, like, the 7, but I think, like, my hype is just a little higher. Like, I'm probably a solid 8.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. 7-8 range, like maybe
I'd
7.5.
I'd maybe push it to a 9 depending on the day, and as it gets closer, my hype will go up. But right now, like, it's still a good 4 months away, so I'm like, I got time. I have patience.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just,
Mhm.
I have games that I'm playing right now that are keeping me occupied. Of course, Destiny's
Fair
keeping me
enough.
occupied. I've been playing Dead by Daylight and still have Pokemon and all that. So I'm working on. So it's still, I have a lot of stuff that I can.
Yeah, if you got stuff
on
on your
right
plate,
now,
if you got
so.
stuff on your plate, then you're good to go.
Yeah, it just takes me a while. I still have yet to play through Breath of the Wild. People are gonna hate me. I know. I'm sorry. So
No one's
I'm
gonna
going to
hate
get
you.
to that eventually. It's just, it will happen.
Jukebox is like, I
Sometime in
quit
the
this
near future,
podcast.
Yeah, I'm out
Yeah,
of
quit
here.
this podcast now. Get off. I'm
No.
sorry.
Don't worry, we got like a whole episode where we're like, yeah, the game's good, but also it's a piece of shit.
Whoa.
Yeah, actually, like,
It's like 2 hours straight of that.
yep. Well, because, like, just to touch on that for 30 seconds,
Oh, Jesus.
everybody and their
Yeah,
mother
Oh,
was like 10 out of 10, best game ever, best Zelda ever. And then, the people who actually gave a shit and weren't paid to say shit play it and were like, I mean, it's pretty good. It's not bad.
yeah, for
So,
me, I
yeah.
think it's since I've never played a Zelda game before, it's just so hard to know what the heck I'm doing. I'm
Well,
just
yeah,
like,
and that's
what's going on.
that's like
here?
you
I don't think
that's
I've
like you
even
and I
made
were
it past the
talking about the
tutorial
one
first.
time.
I'm like, isn't the tutorial supposed to like be easy and help me? Like, get through
Well-
it. Granted, it's probably easy for people who have played it, but I'm just like, where am I going?
Well, yeah, that's just it. Like, I flew through the tutorial in about 3 hours, but I played a fuck ton of Zelda, so.
The
Yeah.
tutorial for turtles.
Ha! Who like to go slow like TJ. Ho ho!
Oh, Jesus.
It's
Okay,
true.
but
Darn.
actually,
Yeah,
I feel like
Pokemon.
I'm in this stasis of like really low expectations, and then it can blow me away. Because
That's fair.
as far as like newer Pokemons, I haven't really bought a new Pokemon except for when Sun and Moon came out and Let's Go. Because I didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I didn't technically get Oras until a few months after it came out, and before that, I only bought games that were like past generations.
That's interesting.
So I haven't
think-
really had time to have any real hype for a main series game, only for like Oras and for Let's Go. But I mean, Let's Go is really important to me because that was a remake of Yellow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Pokemon Sun and Moon and then Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, I got those on the midnight release, and I played the heck out of them. Granted, that was when I was shiny hunting, and so I was a little bit more invested. Actually, no, a lot more invested in Pokemon. And then I kind of got away from that because I just had the most terrible luck. And then I started to play other games, and so I haven't been as invested in Pokemon franchise. But I definitely still am excited because I really enjoy playing through the games. I think they're really good, and other than Sun and Moon taking literally forever to get through the game.
Oh,
But that's
Sun and
good.
Moon were painful.
Yeah, I think it was there's a nice fine line between, cutscenes, every now and then just having the entire game be littered with them and then just making it so I can't skip them and I am forced to
Mm-hmm.
watch them. It
That's
was
the
so
worst.
ugh. I was like, please, game. At least in Destiny, you can click circle and just get past it. But
Yeah, like
it's
you're out.
just
Fucking,
uh,
I
it
remember
was rough.
we've talked about it before, like Jukebox and we mentioned how like it's just funny how like the number one selling point for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was that you got your starter within the first 5 minutes instead of within the first hour and a half. Like it's Sun and Moon. Because that was the worst part for me, and I know that was a huge complaint for a lot of people. Was like I wanted to soft reset for a shiny Rowlet, and then I
Mhm.
realized it was like an
I was one
hour
of those
before you get
people,
your starter.
and I couldn't do
Yeah,
it.
nope.
I was like, nope, no thanks. Yeah, there were 15-minute long resets,
Yeah,
and
no. That's
I
brutal.
was not about that life.
No.
So,
So anyway, to get on to the Sword and Shield train again.
mhm.
So Jukebox has a 1 out of 10 because he's a soulless piece of shit.
Hey, I had so much fucking hype for Sun and Moon, and I was so fucking disappointed.
We
And I'm
all
seeing
were.
all the stupid bullshit they're showing for this one, and I'm just like, nah, you may be showing Pokemon on the overworld again, but you're gonna fuck this up somehow.
Mm.
That's fair. So Jukebox is a 1 out of 10. TJ is a 7 or 8, he said, depending, and I'm like a hard 8, maybe a 9 depending on the day.
Hmm.
So the main like I said, I got like little jot notes kind of, so it's gonna be like semi structured. Graphics. It's pretty.
Yeah, I think it looks amazing. I'm really excited about that. I loved what they did with Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee on the Switch. I think it was a good first introduction game on the Switch because it was something familiar, and so we were able to be used to it. But also, it just made the graphics look so cool. I was actually telling my mom the other day, I was like, "Look how much the graphics have changed in just this game alone." And I showed her
Oh yeah.
a Gen 2 in Pokemon Crystal, and then I showed her. I was playing on my Switch, and I was like, "Just look at it! It's crazy how much it's changed over time." And I'm really excited because it looks like it's more of an open world kind of game, at least from what I've seen in that. Like, it looks like the game is going to be a lot larger, which is
It's
what
in,
people
that's
were
interesting
talking
you
about.
say that because that's the next jot point I have.
Oh, Jesus.
I just love it.
So
Yeah, but I'm very excited for it in that aspect.
yeah, I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm really stoked. It's definitely the best looking Pokemon game we've ever had. Like Let's Go looked really nice. But Sword and Shield, like I find Let's Go still kind of had
Childish.
yeah, it still looked, kiddie, and it was still more of a bird's eye 2D kind of view.
Hmm.
It's like 2.5D or however you want to call it, whereas Sword and Shield looks to like almost fully embrace that 3D kind of movement and stuff, right? Like you
Mhm.
see the character running and it's more like the camera's more like straight on as opposed to up in the sky, which I think is going to be interesting. I also like the that you can like freely move the camera, although that might only be in
Certain areas.
the wild area, which is that open world spot we were talking about.
Hmm.
And the other downside is, like Jukebox said, I am glad that they brought back being able to see Pokemon on the overworld, but I'm also curious to know what I mean. I'd imagine in the upcoming couple of weeks here, we're probably going to get some more news on stuff like that, but I'm interested to see if Pokemon are in the overworld permanently, or if they're only in the overworld in the wild area,
Wild area. Hmm.
right? Because like if you look at the map, like the map that they shown of the Galar region, it's like the wild area is like this big fucking thing, like dead center in the map, and the rest of it all branches off. So I don't know, like I'd be okay if there were, wandering Pokemon throughout the entire game, but I also kind of hope it's a wild area exclusive thing and then any of the other smaller, like, to and from kind of areas, I hope it's, like, just random encounters again.
Yes, I like that you brought random encounters up because that was my biggest thing that I absolutely despise about Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee is that there's not random encounters and then that the battle encounter is completely different with random Pokemon. Instead of battling it and killing it for XP, you have to catch it continuously. And it just makes it much more annoying in my mind because, like, I remember I was trying to grind up my team for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu because I was getting my ass handed to me. And even though I had the entire team throughout the entire game, and then I was like, oh, well, I have to catch these Pokemon instead of killing them like I would traditionally. But it was harder in the area that I was in because the Pokemon are higher levels, and that means I had to have raspberries, I had to have Pokeballs, higher like Great Balls or Ultra Balls in order to catch them in order to get more XP. And I just felt that it was really tedious. And
I also felt like grinding was more of a chore because it's
Mhm.
you'd have a bad throw or something would pop out of a ball, and you had to
Yep.
you had to try and catch, like, the main thing I grinded on was, like, I beat Celadon, and before I went to Fuchsia, like, I was, like, catching Rapidash and stuff because they were spawning fairly frequently. Same with the Dodrios on Bicycle Path. And, like, they were just such a pain in the ass to catch. I was like, man, I could have, like, got mad levels just, like, grinding normally, but either way.
Yeah, and I really hope that they don't have it be similar like it was in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, because I liked the random encounters. I liked just having the grass, just running in it and encountering the Pokemon. I thought it was really tedious to have to wait for the Pokemon that I wanted, like let's say Bulbasaur in the Viridian Forest to pop up whenever, and then you have to navigate through all the other Pokemon that are in your way to try and get to it, and then just to have another Pokemon, you encounter it, and then the Bulbasaur despawned. And it's like, yeah. And I think also for shiny hunting, that was not necessarily as fun. I didn't like the catch combo method.
Yeah,
I did.
well, I know. I watched a lot of videos where, like, people would be shiny hunting. They'd finally find the shiny they were looking for. Something else would run in the way. They'd immediately run, and then poof, the shiny's gone. And I'm like, man, that's such a back-asswards way to do it. But still.
Yeah,
I appreciate these, like, comparison pictures that you're putting in there, Jukebox. I much prefer Gen 8.
Oh man, I'm gonna give you a hot take because I haven't told you about what I think of the graphics.
Oh no.
Because I prefer Let's Go. We'll start with that.
You monster.
I know I'm the worst. Here's my thing with Gen 8. Because it looks fine. But it can't decide what it wants to be.
You know what? I'll give it to you.
Look at the first... I put some pictures in our chat here for the guys. But if in a Pokemon battle, you look at the Pokemon when you're on the menu, when you're selecting an attack. The Pokemon itself looks almost like they're trying to do a cel-shaded thing. They almost have like a black outline of him, while the background and the textures around it look like something out of the GameCube era with a higher resolution.
That's fair.
It's like there's this huge disparity between having like almost like this Zelda-esque cel shading on characters and this like gritty PS2 looking frickin' textures on everything else. Like, and then I have comparison between a Pikachu from Gen 8 and Let's Go. And while I actually like the Gen 8 one more because it looks a little more anime-ish, it's got flatter colors and the outlining helps flatten it a bit. The one in Let's Go is actually still cohesive with the rest of the environment around it.
Yeah, which is fair.
So I think Gen 8's gonna have to like, either I have to see some more gameplay or it's gonna have to change something up for me to actually prefer its graphics.
That's fair, and that's literally what I was about to say is like the only upside and the only argument to that is like there is still another 4 months of production for it, so there's a very good chance it'll get significantly better. And, if it gets significantly better and everything in that screenshot looks as good as the Score Bunny does, then alright, sold,
Yeah, and I think that if
I don't see that happening in the last 4 months.
Has a really
probably not, but
high standard of quality, I would say. And I think that they're going to push themselves the limit when it comes up to releasing this game, because it is the first mainstream or main title game for the Switch for Pokemon.
And also the first ever main fuck, what's the word I'm looking for?
Main
like
title? Or
yeah, main title on console. Because like
Mhm.
if I just said first Pokemon game, people would be like, oh, what about Coliseum and XD? And I'd be like, shut your whore mouth.
I mean, true. But yeah, I think that I'm not necessarily as nitpicky with the graphics. I'm more focused on, which I know the graphics are a big thing, and I'm sure once I see more videos and everything about it, it
Oh, yeah.
will appear. So far, for what I've seen, I've been really happy.
Yeah,
but
I think it looks beautiful.
I'm more concerned about like what the gameplay will be like and the rest of that. What is titled with that?
Perfect. Next jot note.
Hold
Actually,
on.
before we get to the next jot note,
Hold on.
go.
I'm just gonna give you another hot take because I absolutely love the user interface of Sword and Shield.
You mean like based on the Score Bunny picture you put in?
Yeah, if you look at like the menus and stuff, how stylized they are.
I also appreciate that.
It's super
Mhm.
crisp and clean. And it reminds me a lot of like the Gen 3 Pokemon cards.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, what were you going on?
So before the next hot take, and this is going to be like, as TJ puts it, this is going to be like the hot tea that's about to get spilled. But before that, I want to know, and we're only going to touch on this super quick, which starter are you picking? And if anybody says Score Bunny, get the fuck out.
Okay, so here's the thing. You already
Oh,
set
God.
the question up, so there's only two options. I really want to see the rest of their evolutions and see what they look like, because
I
what
also do.
what I like to do is I just like to look at all the Pokemon that are in the game, and then I like to plan my team out before. But maybe this time I actually will just kind of go in blind, and I'll just go with my gut feeling and see. But it's so hard because they're all great. But I really like Score Bunny's design. I think he's cute, and
I think he's
I don't
cute.
know.
I'm just
as
not
long
about
as
the
it's not a
firefighting
type,
shit. Yeah,
I just don't
it.
understand why they can't come up with any other design, any other typing for
Yeah.
a fire starter. But I really, oh gosh, I forgot the name. I know there's Grookey, there's Score Bunny, and then
Sobble.
Sobble.
Man, you
There we go.
forgot the best one.
I was gonna say I'm leaning towards Sobble, because if it's a ghost type, I really love ghost types, and that would be what I would pick.
If he's water ghost, that's a big green button for me.
Mhm.
My main thing is like Hylexa and I are still deciding if she wants to get Pokemon Sword and I want to get Pokemon Shield. And like the main issue is we only have one Switch.
Mm.
So then we're constantly fighting over who gets to play, right? So she was like, well, why don't we just
problems.
Yeah, exactly, right? So she was like, well, we'll just get the one copy, we'll just get Shield, and then I'll just watch, like, we'll play through it together kind of thing. And I'm like, well, that's fair. Like,
that's gonna
I'm like,
work great.
oh no, it does. We've done that for a few games actually.
Oh well, props
Like we
to you
did,
then.
yeah, we did that with the new God of War. I'd come home from work and we'd sit down and we'd play God of War. But I'm personally big Sobble squad. So is Hylexa, like huge, like Sobble's the only fucking choice. I'm also like super fucking biased towards water starters. Like I almost always pick the water starter. Like I can't remember the last time I didn't pick a water starter first. Probably like Cyndaquil.
You're saying you picked Popplio.
You're damn. Have we not talked about this? Primarina is my favorite Pokemon of all time.
Oof.
All right, I'm making the 9-hour drive or getting your ass kicked. I'll be right there.
That was a choice. And
Oh boy.
it's your choice. So
Fucking love Popplio.
Yeah. You're entitled
He's
to
a
your
water
opinion.
fairy type.
So I'll just leave it at that. You're entitled to your
Yeah.
opinion.
You
Even
can
if
have
it's
your
garbage.
wrong opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, you
But
sons of
anyways.
bitches. Jukebox, what starter are you taking?
Fucking, I don't know, because I got to coordinate this with Kari,
All right.
but probably Grookey.
I like Grookey. He's my second choice.
He's cute
poor
as
bunny.
hell.
He's
But
not gonna.
so-
He's not getting any love.
Like
I
how
just
I
got this
mentioned
feeling
earlier,
it's going to be
TJ,
another fighting monkey, though. And I'm just kind of
I'd
like,
be okay with it. I'd be
I'll
okay
just
with
get
like
Primeape.
I've seen a lot of people like wanting him to be like grass rock or something, and I'd be like, I'd be alright with that. To mention based on earlier how like if you have a story that ties in, alright, that's cool. So on the note of Jukebox and his lady having to like coordinate starters, when we got Sun and Moon, Jukebox and I were like, we're gonna Nuzlocke them. And I know
Oh,
you've
God.
never done a Nuzlocke before.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked Poplio, Jukebox picked Rowlet, and Kari, his girlfriend, picked Fennekin. No, not Fennekin. What was the shit?
Nice
What was the
try,
fire
bud.
starter? What was the fire starter?
Litten.
Dear
That one.
dude.
That
I
was the
haven't-
one I picked. I loved
I'm
Litten.
a sad panda. So okay, but here's the funny part. So Jukebox and I are nuzlocking this game, and we're doing pretty good until we got to the frickin' grass trial. I get absolutely dominated by the Totem Lurantis because
Oh
like
yeah, the Lurantis
my
was
s-
really
like-
hard.
my starter like Brion was no help. Like Snorlax was like the only like semi-hard counter I had, and even that wasn't going anywhere. So I was like, this is it, lock's done. I had a Salandit, but it was not a high enough level, and it was a male, so it wasn't evolving.
Rip. Why
Yeah,
would you-
so I was
oh,
like,
yeah, that's right. That was locked.
yeah, so I was like, all right, and then I think Jukebox like just barely beat that encounter without losing the Nuzlocke. I think. And then the part that pissed us both off is he messages me later and he's like, Kari just was like, I don't understand why you guys had so much trouble with that fight. It was so easy. And both of us were like, that's because you picked the fire starter.
I mean, even with the fire starter, I struggled with
The
it.
Lurantis was rough. But yeah, like it was just funny. We were both just like, you don't understand.
Yeah, it was. I could definitely see how that could be a problem.
Yeah. All right. So, the T, Dynamaxing and raid battles. And I don't know how I feel about any of it. I think Jukebox is a big meh.
Yeah. Meh.
I just
I
think
mean, Dynamax is going to become this overbearing bunch of bullshit. Same as like the Z moves and Mega Evolutions. It's going to be in like every major trainer battle, gym battle.
Yep.
And it's probably going to be like, if they Dynamax, then you're going to have to do it in retaliation, or else like at least
Yeah.
one or two of your guys are going to get wiped out.
Yeah, I
See-
just don't. I kind of wish they would have started fresh, like with this new console resetting. This kind of had no gimmick. Like I loved out of Mega Evolution, Z Crystals, and then Dynamax. I loved Mega Evolution because I thought it was really cool that you, for the storyline, not for battling, but for the storyline in regards to the actual gameplay. I thought it was really cool. Like, oh, you bond with this Pokemon, and your friendship gets really high, and you're connected, and that's why you're able to Mega Evolve, and it's much stronger. I thought that was cool, but I just don't like Dynamax because I just don't want to use it. I don't. It's like, oh whoa, my Pokemon's like 100 times bigger.
honestly,
It's really dumb.
I think I'm going to try to do my first playthrough without using it.
Good luck. You're gonna
Unless
need
I
it.
Definitely, me too.
absolutely have to. I'm a goddamn Pokemon master. I don't need no goddamn Dynamax.
Yeah, just wait till the first
Fucking
gym leader
right.
tells you that, and then you're
I'm,
gonna shows up with that.
My main thing is I want to see if like you guys just said, I want to see if it's possible to beat a Dynamax Pokemon without a Dynamaxed Pokemon. You know, like if somebody like Dynamaxes a Weavile like they showed in the trailer, and I have like a fucking Machamp with close combat, like you're telling me I'm not gonna fuck that thing up with 4 times effectiveness?
Like,
I
yeah,
have
you're
a
definitely gonna
very
fuck
hard-
it up, but like,
Yeah,
it's also gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I suppose, yeah, I guess that's kind of like the trick. I'm just gonna abuse double team. You heard it here first. I'm gonna get a Pokemon that knows double team or something. I'm just gonna be like, oh no, they Dynamaxed.
Yeah, I'm just like I said, I'm kind of annoyed that they made this new gimmick. I just think they could have brought back Mega Evolution, or they could have brought back Z moves. I would have been happy. I don't want, like, what are they gonna do next? What's the next gimmick? Who knows?
See, there was a rumor. There was a rumor in like a bullshit leak that happened like a few months ago
Yeah,
that
Pokemon
said
armor.
they were gonna bring in armor evolutions, and I'm like, see, that's something that I wouldn't have too much of an issue with. But I also think what they need to what I think a good gimmick for Gen 9 would be branching evolutions. Because, like, you know how a Wurmple can turn into either Silcoon or Cascoon and then turns into either a Dustox or a Beautifly?
Yeah.
Do something like that, but do it for, like, a wider variety of Pokemon. You know?
Mhm.
Like, give it so that certain Pokemon, like, they've done it with a Pokemon here and there, but make it, like, the main gimmick. You know? I think that'd be cool. It'd be hard to implement. It would take a lot of fucking work, for sure, but I think it'd be fun.
The thing is, all their really big gimmicks center around battling, and that's like a non-battle gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Because, like, they could probably implement that straight into, like, Gen 8, and they'd still be hyping the shit out of Dynamax to be like, yeah, you can also do this thing where you get different Pokemon, whatever, but look how big this Pokemon is!
Yeah.
Just reminds me of the giant Pokemon episode where they're like on the island and it's like all the
Yeah.
automatons or whatever. They're like, oh my
Jesus.
god. Okay, so like the Dynamaxing is so. I want to see more on it. I have a little bit of hype for it, like in the sense of like online battling. I feel like it'll be a really important thing to like consider strategy wise. But
Yeah, you'll have to. Just
yeah,
like Mega
right.
Evolution and Z Crystal.
Because it's like if you fuck up when you do the Dynamax, you're probably gonna lose. So
I bet you they're gonna try really hard to have a lot of customization for online battles. Like, go all in and make it really great like Oras was. So it could be like the next platform that we're doing battles on. Even if we don't have all the Pokemon yet, they can set it up for like the next games for when they get the rest of the Pokemon in. But they're probably gonna have an option where you can do online battles without Dynamax.
I'd imagine
like it's outlawed.
I'd imagine you'd be able to disable it, which would be perfectly fine with me. So the Dynamaxing, like I just said, is like everybody's kind of on the fence about it. What do you guys think about the raid battle idea? How like you and like 3 other randos can like all like go toe to toe with a Dynamax Pokemon?
I think it's fine. It's not a mandatory thing. It's like if you want to do it, you can.
Yeah, I think it'd be
cool.
I think
It's
it's like a
almost-
fun like play with friends kind of thing, but outside of that, I don't think anybody's going to be like going out of their way to do raid battles. You know what I mean?
I mean, they could probably have like Pokemon. They could hire shiny chances, or they could have higher.
That would be a good way to do it.
IV. No wait.
Guaranteed IVs and stuff
Yes,
like that.
IVs and things like that. But my only problem with it is kind of how with Pokemon Go. My problem with Pokemon Go is that if you don't have any friends that play it, then you can't do it. Like I can never do the raids in Pokemon Go, and it's like, ooh, like today, it's like, ooh, mark on your calendar, Kyogre is coming, and I'm like, I don't care because I can't take advantage of it. Let alone the fact that I don't have any Pokemon spawn in my area, so I literally have to go downtown, even if I want to play Pokemon Go just normally, like it's how it's supposed to be. So it's just like I can't even take advantage of that.
I feel your pain on a spiritual level.
Yep, so that's my only thing. It's like, well, I hate content that I need other people to do. I want to be able to do it on my own.
Yeah,
because
which is totally fair.
Yeah, I become dependent on other people. And I know, I'm sure they're trying to promote like, oh, well, you need to make more friends, and like I get that. That's important. Also, at the same time, there are some people that just like to play by themselves, like me sometimes.
Yep.
I just like to play by myself. But now it's like if I want to do that, then it forces me to have to go out and find other people. Well, actually, did they provide any details on how that works? Like, is there matchmaking, or do you just enter in? Like, how does that work?
I believe I feel like it's probably going to be like an X and Y with the PSS system.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's like you select the option to connect online, and then if you go to one of the raid battle things, it probably automatically matchmakes you with 3 other people.
Yeah,
Is
and so that's
probably
okay
how
then.
it works.
If it does that, kind of how like with Destiny, I hate how it doesn't do matchmaking for the escalation protocol, or it doesn't do matchmaking for the blind well. Now that people are past it, no one does it. And so for people that are gonna want to play it in the future, then they can't take advantage of it. It basically is a dead thing now. And so
exactly.
You know,
kind
I
of
feel
how
like I
Pokemon Go
remember.
is now.
I remember there was like a. I feel like I remember seeing a video where they were going in for one of those raid battles, and it was like 4 characters, but they were all in like the same space on the overworld. So I don't know if they're using like the wild area as a almost like a
an
lobby
MMO kind of thing.
Yeah, like a lobby though, where people can gather and then you can all kind of join together and walk towards the raid.
It might be you might be able to like invite people into the same server as you.
Maybe.
But I don't know. Honestly, I'd imagine whenever they do the next direct, which like I said earlier, will probably be in like a couple of weeks, maybe a month. I'd imagine we're gonna get to see more about it. So
yeah.
I think it's gonna be a lot like Pokemon Go.
Mm-hmm.
It's just gonna be like little bonus extras instead of like go to your EB games to get a shiny whatever. It'll be connect to the online service to get a shiny whatever.
Yeah. Which I'd be okay with.
Yeah.
TJ,
they better not make shiny Pokemon extremely hard to get in this game. I also I want multiple methods of hunting. I don't just want the chaining.
I'd imagine. I feel like with every new game that comes out, they're making it a little easier to do.
Yeah.
Shiny hunting, like X and Y lowered the shiny rate, and then Sun and Moon required how many Pokemon you needed to catch for the Pokedex, and then Let's Go added the chain combo and all that.
I want
like
it to go back to 100% random.
Oh God, you're actually a monster.
Oh come on, shinies used to actually be special.
They still are.
Yeah,
no, they're
my
not.
Zubat that took 35,000 or was 34,000, or it took more than 30,000 random encounters to get it. That thing is one of the most prized possessions in Pokemon for me. Fucker. Hate it at the same time.
The only shiny Pokemon that I have ever found in the wild without like breeding, hunting, etc. was a shiny Ponyta, and it was on a Pokemon Silver emulator while I was grinding to fight Red. And I just randomly popped up and I was like, you fucking kidding me? This couldn't have happened on a fucking cartridge. It had to be on a goddamn emulator.
Exactly.
That's what you get, bitch.
I still caught it. I mean, shut up.
I don't think I've only found one random shiny Pokemon ever, and I would obviously like to find more. I just have terrible luck when it comes to the game.
You have terrible luck. I've been playing this shit for 21 years and I've never found one. Like literally, I've never found just a random shiny Pokemon. Meanwhile, here's Hylexa playing Pokemon X for the very first time. Babe, why is this Gullet a different color?
Sucker.
Oh, it hurt my soul. It was like, I'm so happy for you, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Use fucking explosion. No.
Anyways, what's your next point?
Yeah, the
gyms
really
back.
Hold on. And how many more points do you have?
One more that's like subject to like a small discussion, and then another which is just like a quick opinion kind of thing, and then that's pretty much all I got.
Okay, let's do it. I got like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. The gyms are back. Like actual gyms are back. Because
I'm
I think
happy about that, but it looks.
I think we were all in agreement. The trials in Sun and Moon were the dumbest shit they've ever thought of.
Yeah, I did not like that. I thought
I hate it.
I liked
them with
gym
passion.
leaders, and I liked how they were a part of, like they were protectors of the region, and you have to go against all of them, and then you go against the Elite Four, and I just really liked that. And then they just completely threw that out the window. I mean, granted, I will give them that it was a unique idea. I didn't absolutely hate it, but I didn't like it, and I thought it took for freaking ever to do it, and it was just as hard as regular gym battles. So I'm glad that they're going back.
The main problem I had with the trials wasn't like the difficulty, because for the most part you still had a pretty rough, like a good fight at the end of each one in like the totem Pokemon and all that.
Yeah.
And like that was fine. I didn't mind the totem Pokemon. It was just I hated how literally impossible to fuck up the trials were. Like Kiawe is the fire guy, and it's like, what's different in the picture? And the one is like the Marowaks are dancing, and then there's a fucking hiker. There's a hiker there. How?
No, it was when it was with the Marowaks, and when they'd have their bones in different places. I'm like, I wasn't paying attention that much. I was like, dang it. And then, so
I'm not gonna lie, I second guessed it a couple of times, but like, just the one where like the hiker is there all of a sudden, I was like, are you serious? Like,
here's a side tangent really quickly. So I'm playing Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu right now, and I was going against the Snorlax. The Snorlax ran because I could not damage it, and I don't have any raspberries to make it more, and I was using Ultra Balls. This is what I hate about, I swear to God, if they bring it back, oof.
No, it's not coming back, don't worry. I think we're going back to like regular random encounters.
Absolutely despise this mechanic in the game, and it just this is why it's taking me so long to play, because I hate this mechanic.
That's fair.
Absolutely. Back on topic.
I like Let's Go, but yeah, that mechanic, like, it hurt me a little bit. Annoying. But
anyways, back on topic.
Jukebox, are you happy about gyms coming back?
Yeah, I don't think it was a hard decision at all.
No. I think they got enough hate with Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon. They were like, should probably bring the gym leaders back.
And it's funny because I think it looks stupid that it looks like a soccer tournament type thing.
Yeah,
but literally the entire rest of the world is probably super stoked for it.
Well, I mean, I really like the themes in the gyms. Like every gym, like with Koga's gym, it's invisible walls because he's a ninja and all this stuff. And I loved, I just liked the puzzles inside the gyms. I don't know why they take that out. Like they should have the final arena be this, big stadium and everything. That's fine. But and hopefully that will be the case. But I don't know if it's gonna be like, oh, welcome trainer, walk in the stadium and go against all these opponents. I don't know what it's gonna be like. But hopefully it won't be like that.
There are puzzles.
That
was confirmed. Okay. Yeah, that was confirmed because at E3, they had like a playable demo of the water type leader, Nessa.
Mm-hmm.
They had a playable demo of her gym, and I haven't like watched anything on it because I don't want to like go out of my way to like ruin everything for it, and I don't want to like see how to do the gym before I get to try it myself. But
yeah,
based on what I read, you have to like flip switches to like open and close waterfalls to like make your way through or whatever.
That's cool.
Kind of like based on what I read, it reminded me a little bit of like Crasher Wake in Gen 4, how you had to like lower and raise the water levels for the bridges. Yeah. Which, so as far as I know, the gyms still have puzzles, and then like you just said, TJ, it's just the gym battle where it's like the gym leader battle where it's like in the big stadium.
Oh, that's perfect then.
Yeah,
that's
so
okay.
I'm totally okay with that.
Dope.
And then the final point I had, and because this has raised so much whining baby controversy online,
the national dex.
Yeah, do you guys give a shit that like the entire national dex isn't going to be in there?
Well,
no.
I mean, yes and no. No, because I'm like, I want to use the new Pokemon, so I'm not really going to care about that, and I'm not so invested in battling, so I don't need my other Mons. But then at the same time, yes, because I think it's sloppy that they're not having it all the Pokemon available. I don't know. I think that they could have done better with that, but I know that they were talking about like, well, we can only put so much in a year, and so I actually really wanted to talk about this and get your opinions on it. But I was like, well, maybe it's time to start moving away from the year model and making it so that it might, take longer depending on how long it will take to make everything happen in the game, because that will produce higher quality, and then that could make the game even better than what it could be, instead of cramming it into a year and then capping it off there and having the next one every year. So I definitely am kind of frustrated that in some aspects, as there are some certain Pokemon that I'm gonna miss if they aren't in the game, but others, I'm at the same time, I'm like, meh, whatever, I'll get over it. I'll pick some new ones and I'll have fun with those. But I think that it was just kind of sloppy on their part, and they should potentially, since the games are getting larger and the Pokemon, it's becoming more work, I think they need to move away from having content come out every year and then just making it so that they give themselves more time, which would ultimately benefit the fan base.
I agree. My main thing
That's it.
regarding
I agree. Period.
Yeah.
Move on.
the main thing for the national decks for me is like I'm in your ballpark, TJ, but I'm a little outside of it too, because as like I'm really big into the competitive battling scene, so it does sting me a little to know that like there's a potential that some or a lot of my favorite Pokemon to use won't be coming into Sword and Shield.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks a little, but at the same time, I'm just like you. Like when I get a new Pokemon game, like I try really hard to only use new Pokemon.
Yeah, why on earth would you have? I'm gonna use a Gyarados for the even. I mean, like I know there's Machop. I'm gonna use a Machop, and I'm gonna get a Machamp at the end. Like, no, I'm gonna use the new Pokemon in the game because that's what I want to do. I'm not gonna use a Pokemon that I've had maybe in the second playthrough if I want to, but I might shiny hunt it if I need it. But like, no, I'm not gonna use a Pokemon that's been in the game forever. I want to use the new ones because that's
exactly
why I play it.
Yeah, so I'm okay with that. And like as far as the battling goes, it's like, again, based on like reports I read, like there's probably a good, like we're probably getting like a good 100 to 120 new Pokemon. So like that's a lot of Pokemon for battling. I mean, only probably about 50 of them are really going to be like usable, but and
I think it's
probably less than that, counting like Final Evolutions, shit like that. But
and I think it's also nice because it will make getting the shiny charm much easier, which is in my mind is nice because I'm just tired of full odds hunting. Like I'm done with it. Which is fine. It died a long time ago and it's not coming back. So
the part that I totally lost my train of thought. The one part that I agree with too is I agree on like kind of the sloppy aspect in that this is the first console Pokemon game. And they're putting The Witcher 3 on a Switch cartridge. But you can't put every Pokemon into the new Pokemon game?
Yeah, and so
it's like
I think they really should have knocked it out of the park, like with this. Like it should have been since it's the first game on mainstream title on console, it should have been home run out of the park. It should have everything that the community wanted. And then they come up with this, and everyone's like, "What?" And rightfully so. Like there are some people that I think that I think maybe people overreacted, maybe a little bit. Like, of course, the PokeTubers want to get those views and everything, so they got to farm the tea and whatever they can do. But I still think, like I said, it was sloppy on their part.
Yeah, for sure. Jukebox, you have anything else to add on the national decks, or are you just like a big meh, I could give a shit?
No, I got some stuff to add because
hit me.
Fucking Pokemon's always had a scaling issue. Anytime they move to a new platform or change anything, they have to do it for all characters. So like I even watched a video on the evolution of the animations of Pokemon and how like in the first gen nothing happens, but in the second one they were at least able to make them blink and stuff, and then in the third one they were able to like rotate and skew sprites, and every time they did that they had to pretty much recreate the entire sprite. So if your game kind of revolves around adding a couple hundred Pokemon every now and then to keep it fresh, once you grow to have so many, when you come to the next game or the next time you want to change up the way battles look or the way Pokemon look, you have to remake it for every single one of those. And I don't know if there's ever been a game besides like the first ones where they've had every single Pokemon in a single game. Like definitely, you had the color variants, whereas like these 10 are on this one and these 10 are on this one. But I don't think there's ever been one single like pairing of games where you could have the entire national dex.
You were able to do that. You were able to do that all the way up until Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon was the first set of games to scrap that. The entire pokedex in Sun and Moon consists of only 300 Pokemon. You can have every single Pokemon in Sun and Moon if you port them over through like the Pokemon Bank and stuff, but you can only catch the 300 that are in the quote-unquote Sun and Moon national dex. Because you only need to catch those 300 Pokemon in order to get the shiny charm, but you can still port over the other fucking 500 as long as you have them from X and Y or whatever.
So if you played Pokemon X, you could catch every single Pokemon that was there up to that point.
To my knowledge, yes. I could be wrong.
I feel like
but
you're
I'm
wrong.
I'm 99% sure.
Well, I like how you're saying, and that's what I mean. You don't necessarily have to have all the Pokemon available in the game, but you should be able to transfer your Pokemon up and use them in the game. So that's like my problem. I think that's the sloppy aspect. I think it's totally fine that they didn't have all the Pokemon available to be caught, but I think it's really weird that they didn't have it so that you could transfer your Pokemon, like certain Pokemon, up in the game so you can use them, whether it be battling or just playing through with them, or just because
that's not too weird to me. That's been around for a long time. Like, if you try and do a transfer between like Crystal and Sapphire or something, it just doesn't work.
That's true.
It's pretty much they just rebalance the Pokemon when they introduce all the new ones. It's like if they could break it down to like a very specific like save file where it's just the stats and anything else to do with the Pokemon is just done away with, then maybe they could transfer it, but kind of takes personality out of the Pokemon.
That's true.
My thing is though, like I think they say there's like 370 Pokemon or whatever there's going to be for Gen 8 here. That you can like find and catch within the game. The other part of the scaling issue is like, are we over 1,000 Pokemon now?
No.
We're close though, right?
I believe after Sun and Moon, I think we were at like, I want to say we were at like 840.
Did they say how many they're introducing for the new one?
There are a total of 807 Pokemon right now, and like I said, based on reports I read, we're probably getting between 100 to 120.
Okay. I mean, either way, it doesn't really matter. My point is, though, no matter how big they make this region, how varied can it truly be in the wildlife?
Yeah, which is fair. It's just that, like, I'm not butthurt. I'm not butthurt that you can't catch every single Pokemon. I'm butthurt that you can't have every single Pokemon. Because there's, like, the no national dex isn't just you can't catch them all, it's you can't have them all. So it's like you're literally just not going to be able to get, like, I don't know for sure, don't quote me on this, but you're not going to be able to get a Pinsir at all. You're not going to be able to get Absol at all. And that's the part that I think people are more pissed about, as opposed to like, oh no, I can't catch all 900 and something Pokemon.
Okay, so if the problem is that you can't currently have them, what happens when frickin', I don't know, Pokemon Armor comes out?
No, it's Pokemon Gun, Jukebox. God.
Okay, fine. If you have Pokemon Gun come out and you can catch a fucking Absol in Pokemon Gun.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's...
Are you telling me that the National Dex just will never exist anymore?
It won't, no. at least based on what they're saying. So like, even if they were like, oh yeah, so the third installment, Pokemon Gun, is coming out, and like, we're bringing over like 100 extra Pokemon that you weren't able to get in Sword and Shield. You would be able to get them in Gun, but you wouldn't be able to transfer them to Sword and Shield. It'd be kind of like if you tried to trade Gen 2 Pokemon into a Gen 1 game with like the fucking trade system back then. It was like, you literally are not allowed to use the system because you have a Chikorita in your party, and that shit didn't exist in that game.
Yeah, see, I don't see a problem with this at all.
I don't see a problem with it. It's just like, there's that little bit of me that's like, you bastards, and then there's that bigger part of me where it's like, whatever.
Well, I mean, it's kind of just like, imagine in like the actual Pokemon world, someone's just like, no, you can't bring that Pokemon. Why? Why can't I bring it? Oh no, I just can't.
Just isn't in the encyclopedia.
It just
here.
isn't in our books. I'm like, what? What do you mean? It's like, I'm going on my Pokemon journey. It'd be like Ash. She's like, what do you mean I can't bring Pikachu? I don't understand. It's like, I just don't.
Ash should be like, shit, time for an upgrade.
Yeah, you can bring Raichu though, and then Pikachu's like, no, and he's like, you will take the Thunderstone.
I'm just forcing it down his throat.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I think we covered pretty much everything that I thought to cover. The only like final point I wanted to ask before we like wrap it up is, do you like the legendaries, yes or no? And which game are you getting?
No and Shield.
My man. I like the legendaries, and I'm also getting Shield. I much prefer the Shield legendary. To me, the Sword Wolf is lazy.
Yep, exactly. Same. I thought the Sword one was lazy too. And so I'm leaning towards Shield, but I have to make my decision based off of what Pokemon are going to be in the game. And which one.
Yeah, that's just it. Like, if like Sword is like, oh look, our exclusives are way fucking better. It's like,
I'm getting Shield.
I thought that was so
Sword.
silly, like with the the sword in his
Jukebox
mouth. I was like, really though? Like, what?
Yeah.
But oh well, that's just how it has to go.
Sword Dog just reminded me too much of that one Dark Souls boss. I was like, y'all guys even trying? Or
Yes.
But either way, I think they both look cool. It's just, you literally designed a blue wolf that holds a sword in its mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Whoop-de-doo.
See,
Why didn't you give him like a giant sword tail or something?
I can't look at it and not imagine like a real life dog holding a giant stick with his head just tilted over, dragging it along. Like, they show us the animation and video of this new legendary, and he's like swinging the sword around in his mouth, and I'm like, he's gonna drag that thing along the ground and he's gonna get stuck in a doorway. That's what's gonna happen.
Yep. His biggest weakness, 4 times super effective. A doorway.
yeah, a doorway. That'll be the third legendary, like, to like even out the pair. That'll be the third one. It'll just be a fucking like 4x8 doorway.
Yep, exactly.
Like, fuck you.
Shield boy, his broad shoulders can't get through either.
Yeah, they're both trying to like tilt sideways. It just ain't happening.
They're trying going backwards. They get stuck the other way.
Fuck.
We know how this is going to happen. It's going to be the great grand
much.
Conclusion to the game. You're just going to throw a Pokeball at the dog's butt.
And then, like, you'll finally beat the game. You'll, like, white out against the fucking third legendary or whatever, and it'll just be like, welcoming the third game, Pokemon, you're now a meme. Oh, you sons of bitches.
Yeah, and if you battle the door legendary with a Klefki, you just instantly win.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. That'd be great. One final thing to add in. I'm looking forward. I want to see more unique evolutions. Like an X and Y, how like to evolve a fucking... I can never remember his name. The little squid guy, how you had to tilt your 3DS. Yeah, Inkay, how you had to tilt your 3DS upside down to get a Malamar.
Malamar.
I really or how you had that.
I want that. I love that shit.
Oh god, no.
I think it's so cool. Or how you had to have a dark type in your party to evolve Pancham into Pangoro. Fucking sign me up.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with that.
Okay.
Okay, wrap this shit.
I'm gonna pose a question. I want a one-word answer, and then I have to leave.
Oh
Alright.
God.
Which is cuter, Wooloo or the corgi?
Wooloo.
Oh fuck. No, Wooloo.
Wooloo.
I love the corgi, but Wooloo is just like, oh.
Great, it's unanimous. Thank you all for listening. This is episode 45 of the Infinity Games podcast. I'm Jukebox Hero.
I'm KelryxsKing.
I'm TJ Kennedy 4.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye,
Okay.
subscribe.